This is not a dream. You are a part of this living nightmare. Have you ever heard of the Mandela Effect? Part 3. Written and submitted by Hollywood is Burning. I have to come clean. I haven't been entirely honest. I'm going to address a few questions and concerns. I would be D by the system Carlson Benjamin used. I told you my name wasn't important. Well, that's because I don't know my name. I don't exactly have one. The D continuity, according to my research, spawned... It just appeared one day. To put it in terms familiar to your continuity, it's as if I had returned from a commercial break, already in progress. My continuity spawned in the year 1966 D. I was 14 years old. I had many of the faculties you would expect a 14-year-old to have. I could walk, I could talk, and after a couple of days I could read. Because of the way my continuity was created, I was effectively born at the age 14. I had no memories before this, and I didn't seem to have any sort of family. Essentially, nobody ever gave me a name. Most iterations have vastly different names. Yours fits. You can call me Carlson if you'd like. I've spent so much of my life in solitude. It isn't important to me. I soon learned that I had a knack for invention. Being on my own, it was originally about survival, but eventually, it grew into an obsession. I wanted to fix my world. I began devoting my life to time. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I felt that if my world could get back the time that we had before coming into being, we could change the course of things and not be in a war-torn hell. I learned that time was a fickle mistress. Absolutely every minor change had sweeping consequences. Eventually, I learned what I wanted would just be impossible. At least for more than one person. I named the machine Charon as a constant reminder that there was a price to what I was doing. The original Charon was not the elaborate monstrosity that later became. It was just a door. I could enter coordinates into a computer, open the door, and walk through to the next continuity. As long as I could get back to the doorway, I could get back. My first trip to the B continuity was when I started to encounter complications. If I were to come into physical contact with another iteration of myself, bleed of one continuity into the other was greatly accelerated. I met an iteration of myself in B, and he murdered me. So strange to say out loud. After I developed Charon, I learned death wasn't so final. No matter how I died, another iteration would fix things without fail. I never questioned this. I should have. After B murdered me, he went into a frenzy when he saw the blood. He started painting himself in it. Coming into contact with my blood caused us and our continuities to immediately fuse. Apparently, blood really is the essence of you. Under normal circumstances, you fuse into a different iteration of yourselves, the sum of its parts. Since he fused with a corpse, his body turned on itself. He became a grotesque monstrosity. Since this, he's made it his business to hunt me down throughout time and space, just to murder me again and again. I've lost count of how many times he's succeeded. I am very afraid of C. I don't know why he's after me. His consciousness is incredibly close to mine. So close, I can hear his memories. That's a terrible explanation, but it's the best way to describe it. I store 2 sets of memories every day. I can only assume that, well, he does too. For years, I thought he was my savior. And, he was at first. I've never been to his continuity, but he made strides past me in his version of Charon. He doesn't seem to be affected by contact. We've tangled on more than one occasion. Then he shot me in the back of the head. I've met so many terrible ends at the hands of what is essentially myself. I'm starting to stray. You're probably confused. What this has to do with you is complicated, but I'll try to explain. Your continuity is unique. We've been able to edit your reality however we saw fit. Unfortunately for you, not all of us had your best intentions in mind. At first, it was fun. Somebody moves New Zealand, somebody else gives the platypus a bird nose. Then, things less fun started to happen. We had absolutely no idea why the Sphinx appeared in Egypt, for instance. People started changing, not so much physically, attitudes, politics. One jump through the window undid decades, if not centuries, of progress for some continuities. There are continuities beyond you and on their timelines that still haven't industrialized in many cases. The inhabitants native to the continuity never noticed. That is until the year 2014, the year the Mandela effect was first noticed. The easiest way to put this is to say that Mandela was not an iteration of me in your continuity when he died in 1989. However, the Mandela that we brought back through the window was. Carlson Benjamin is a schizophrenic man with an obsession with history. He also has a mind far beyond anything that we have ever seen. When we pulled the second Mandela through the window, it wasn't that continuity that started bleeding through. It was Carlson Benjamin's twisted thoughts. He had a fixation on death. Some people have died hundreds of times in your continuity because of him. We found a way to keep him docile. It's only so effective, though. One of my iterations invented a mild antipsychotic. Named it Yellow Number 5. Carlson Benjamin drinks Mountain Dew by the liter, and he hasn't left his house in months. Well, at least we thought this. Found his apartment this afternoon. It looked like a bomb went off. There was blood everywhere. I saw a dog lying on a pile of broken glass, and I assumed that the dog was the source of the blood. When I made my way to the front room, my heart nearly stopped. There was B. His spine looked like it had been broken in 3 or 4 spots. His head was sitting backwards on his shoulders. Looked like somebody tried to twist it off. Carlson Benjamin was not what I thought he was. He's something far worse. And as long as he's still breathing, nobody in your continuity is safe. He has no face. You see him as whatever he wants you to see, or you won't see him at all. I can stop him, I think. I've located a second window in your continuity, and I don't know where it goes, but I know he went through it. I'm gonna find him. And if I stop him, things should return to normal for you. Whatever that may be. If I don't want to think about what that means for you. If you see another update, I wouldn't trust it. He's been lying to all of us. Thank you for being a part of this living nightmare. We hope to disturb you again soon.